Okay, this is 3.3. We're sketching the line through A and B and finding the slope. So we're going to draw a nice, neat graph, put everything on the same graph here. Okay, and then A is at -3, 2, and B is at 5, -4. Okay, and again, we can just freehand that. And that's number 1. And we need to find the slope. So you can do rise over run, or you can subtract. So from A to B, we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -6. And then we go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we reduce that by 2, we get -3/4. Okay? Or you could have done y minus a y and an x minus an x, and you would get 6 over -8, which is again still -3/4. However you want to do it. So number 3, we'll do in blue, 3, 4. 4, that's point A. And B is at -6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's B. Notice this is a horizontal line. So our slope M is 0. And number 5, we'll do in yellow, -3, 2 is point A. And -3, 5. And that's a vertical line. And that has no slope. And there's your 3 answers. Okay, let's go on. Show that the slopes are points of the parallelogram here. So let's go ahead and graph. Nice and neat graph. -2, 1 is point A. 6, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 4, 0. C. And D is at -4, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So what's the slope of those two lines? All right, so we rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1, 2, 3, and over 2. And C to B is 1, 2, 3, and over 2. So those two lines are parallel. And then we need to check the slope of A to B. So up 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 1/4. And D to C is up 2, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yes, it is a parallelogram going from vertices. Okay, let's draw a graph, and notice we have a 15 for y and big numbers for x here, positive y's, not a lot to the negatives. So probably going to have to go by 2's. So let's try 2's here. 6, 15, 2, 4, so 2 and 2 here. 2, 4, 6, and up 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 will be in the middle. All right, 11, 12, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11's in the middle here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. C is at -1, -8. So -1, don't go to the 2 yet. -1, -8. 2, 4, 6, 8. And D is -6. 2, 4, 6, -5. 2, 4, -5. So now the question is this a rectangle? Meaning, are the slopes opposite reciprocals? So you got to find the slopes of all the lines. So A to D, we rise 1, or we're going by 2's here. So be careful, we're starting in the middle. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And we're moving over 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right, C to B should be the same thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And we're going over 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right, so they're parallel. A to B is down 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And D to C is down 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we reduce 20 twelfths by 4, we get 5 thirds. So negative 3 fifths is perpendicular to 5 thirds. All right, let's go on number 11. Okay, finding the fourth part of a parallelogram, fourth corner. So let's go ahead and graph these. Just kind of look at your numbers, make sure that just a generic graph will do. Okay, so negative 1, negative 3 is A. 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And C is at negative 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so now we have to try to figure out where the other point's going to be. So let me draw a possibility here. So this would have to go up here somewhere. So somewhere up here is a fourth point. But also, you could go this way. And there could be something, if we do this, be over there somewhere. All right, so you have two possibilities here. So the question is, how do we get to the yellow one? Well, look at from A to B, that slope has to be the same from C to D. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they're going by ones, and this is the literal distance, so we go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm looking at these lines up here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so the first possibility we have for D1 is at negative 2, and we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, positive 10. All right, now over here, since we can't see it, we can still figure it out, because you still have to go from blue, B to A, C to D, D sub 2 here, the other possibility. B to A is left 5 and down 5. So we can still go left 5 from C, left 5 from negative 7 would be negative 12, and down 5 from 5 would be 0. So that's how you can figure out those other ones. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the reason they gave only one is because of, it says it's consecutive vertices. Given 3 points, there are 2 possibilities for a parallelogram. But if you're looking at consecutive, it goes A to B to C. So this is the actual parallelogram you're looking at. So we're looking at D sub 2 is the one they wanted. Okay, number 13. Okay, let's start with graphing these first ones here. So first one's going to be y equals 3x plus 0, then y equals negative 2x plus 0. So these are all starting at 0. So we'll start with the black one, then we go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. All right, or down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, over 1. Same thing, 1, 2, 3, over 1. You can just do a bunch of lines, a bunch of points, and you should do that. Next one, let's do in red. Negative 2, so we're starting at 0. Go down 2, into the right one, down 2, and right one. And you just kind of continue that. Or go backwards, go up 2 and left 1, up 2 and left 1, up 2 and left 1. And you connect those. Okay? And the next one is blue, y equals 2/3 x plus 0. So up 2 and over 3, 1, 2, 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 and over 3. Or down 2 and left 3, down 2, left 3, down 2, left 3. And we'll go with yellow for y equals negative 1/4 x. So down 1 and over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or backwards, up 1 and left 4. Up 1 and left 4. And you connect those. There you go. Again, graph a line through P, all right, with those slopes. So let's draw our graph here. 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. Here's point P. So from point P, our slope is going to be 1/2. So up 1 and over 2. Down 1, left 2. Close enough. And then we're going to do -1. So we're going to, from point P, we'll go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Or up 1, left 1. Okay. And then we're going to do -5. So down 1 and over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Up 1 and left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So there you go. Alright, so now we're writing the equation line. So I'll start with the blue one first. And notice it's giving us some information from a point to another point. And we're rising 5 and running to the right 4. So up to the right is always positive. Down to the right is always negative. So the blue line, we have y equals 5/4 x plus b, the y-intercept. And we can't tell where it crosses the y-axis. So we are going to have to find b by substituting in a point on the line. And they gave us a point right here to -3. So -3 is y, x is 2, and now we solve for b. So 10 over 4 is going to be 5 over 2. Subtract 5/2 from 3. And get a common denominator, multiply by 2, and we get -11/2, which is -5 and 1/2. If you count down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a half right there. 5/2, -5/2. So our blue line equation is y equals 5/4 x minus 11/2. You could have said 5 and 1/2 if you wanted. All right, so that's the blue line. The pink line, again, we don't know where it's going through the x-axis. We have a point that's on the line, and we can find the slope. Okay, so we have a point right here at -2, +2, and we have this point here at 2, -3. So we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and running 1, 2, 3, 4. -5/4. Okay, so we have y equals -5/4 x plus b. So let's put -2 in for the y and the x. All right, so you get 2 equals +10/4 plus b, which again is 5/2. So we're going to subtract 5/2 to the left, get a common denominator by 2, and you get -1/2 is b. So our red line equation is y equals -5/4 x minus 1/2. Okay, sketch each of the lines on the same plane here. So our intercept's at 3. Our slope is 1 over 1, so up 1 over 1. And then we'll do x plus 1, goes through at 1, and has the same slope, so it's parallel. And goes through at 1, but it has the slope of -1 over +1, so down 1 and over 1. So that is perpendicular. And those are the graphs of your lines. Okay, find a general form of an equation of the line through point A that satisfies the given condition. All right, so there's two parts here. Okay, so let's first draw it so we visually have an idea. So 3, 1, 3, -1 is right here. And we want parallel to the y-axis. So this is your y-axis here. And that has no slope. So if it's parallel to the y-axis, that means it's vertical, and it goes to the x-axis. So whatever, if it's vertical or horizontal, whatever axis it goes through is the equation variable that you use. So what point does it go through? It goes through at 3. And that would be the equation of a parallel line to the y-axis. All right, and now we want perpendicular to the y-axis. So this time let's do red. Perpendicular is going to be horizontal. So again, horizontal and vertical lines are the axis variable that it goes through. So it goes through the y-axis at -1. So y equals -1 is the equation of the other line. Okay, so again, 5, -3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And a slope of -4 over +1. So down 4 and over 1. So we need the equation of this line that's going to go through the y-axis somewhere up there. Okay, so y equals -4x plus b. And there's our x and our y. So -3 equals -4 times 5 plus b. -3 equals -20 plus b. Add 20, I get 17. So that's probably right. It's going to go through 17 way up there. So y equals -4x plus 17. And here they put it in standard form. So it'd be just, all I had to do is move the -4x to the left. Okay. Okay, so what are we looking at here? You don't have to graph them unless it says so. So 4, 1 is here. The slope is -1 over 3. So down 1 and over 3. So, or up 1 and over 3. Up 1 and over 3. So it doesn't cross at a nice neat point, so we got to find it again. Y equals -1/3 x plus b. And there's your x and your y. 1 equals -1/3 times 4 plus b. So that's -4/3 plus b. So we're going to take 1 plus 4/3 on the left. 1 is the same as 3/3. Common denominator. So 7/3 is b, which is 2 and 1/3. Which that's what it looks like, 2 and 1/3. So y equals -1/3 x plus 7/3. Okay, so now we have 2 points. So we got to get the slope. And you don't have to graph these. So let's just do the slope. -5 minus 6 and 4 minus a -3. So -11 over 7. That's our slope. So y equals -11/7 plus b. And you can use either one of these for your x and y. So this time I'm going to use b just to do it differently. So 6 equals -11/7 times -3 plus b. So 6 equals 33/7 plus b. Move it across. 6 over 1 minus 33/7. Get a common denominator. 42 minus 33 is going to be 9. So now you have your intercept. Y equals -11/7 x plus 9/7. Okay, same thing again. Parallel to this line. All we need from this is the slope. Parallel, so got to get y by itself. So we get -2y. Don't drop the minus sign. And that's -5x plus 4. Divide everything by -2. And you don't need to do anything else. That's the slope of the parallel line, which is +5/2. Alright, so now we have y equals 5/2 x plus b, and we have our x and our y. -1 equals 5/2 times x plus b. -1 equals 15/2. Move it across, so -1 over 1 minus 15 over 2 equals b. Get a common denominator. So that's -17/2 equals b. So y equals 5/2 x minus 17 halves. If you put it in standard form, typically you get rid of your fractions, so multiply everything by 2. 2y equals 5x minus 17. The 2's will cancel out. And then put everything on one side. So 0 equals 5x minus 2y minus 17, and we move the constant over. 17 equals 5x minus 2y. As you can see, they put everything in standard form. Okay, now we want perpendicular to this line. So again, we only need the slope of the equation. So solve for y. Negative 5y equals negative 2x plus 8 divided by the negative 5. And we only care about the slope. So if 2/5 is the slope, the perpendicular slope is negative 5/2. That's what goes with our new line. So y equals negative 5/2 x plus b. This is our x and our y. So negative 3 equals negative 5/2 times x plus b. So negative 3 equals negative 35/2 plus b. Move it across, we get negative 3 over 1 plus 35/2 equals b. Get a common denominator. So that's 29/2 equals b. So y equals negative 5/2 x plus 29/2. Again, in standard form, if we multiply by 2, 2's cancel out. We get 2y equals negative 5x plus 29. Move the 5x over, we get 5x plus 2y equals 29. Okay, number 33. Find the slope-intercept form of the line that satisfies the given conditions. Okay, the x-intercept is 4. The y-intercept is negative 3. So those are your two coordinates. So y equals mx plus b. And we have our y-intercept, so that part's already done. To minus 3. And now to find the slope, you can just do y minus y. Don't forget the negative. And x minus x. So that's 3 over 4. So our equation is y equals 3/4 x minus 3. And for some reason, they did not put it in standard form. Okay, 35. All right, same type of thing. They gave us 2 points, so we got to find the slope. And we have to find the intercept, which they didn't give us. So y minus y and x minus x. And we get negative 2 over 6, or negative 1/3. So y equals negative 1/3 x plus b. To find b, you need x and y, which we have 2 of them here. This time I'll use a. So I'll put 2 in for y and 5 in for x. And we get 2 equals negative 5/3. Add 5/3 to the 2. Get a common denominator. And we get 11/3. So y equals negative 1/3 x plus 11/3. Find the general form of an equation of the perpendicular bisector of segment AB. All right, so visually, let's look at this. Let's see, 3, negative 1. 1, 2, 3. And negative 2, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is that line. And we want a perpendicular bisector. So we need to know kind of where that point's at and the slope of the line. Okay, so let's look at the midpoint, because the bisector goes through the midpoint. So the midpoint is x plus x and y plus y divided by 2. So that's going to be 1/2. And negative 1 plus 6 is 5/5. So the midpoint is at 1/2, 2.5. So right here, that's the midpoint. So we need the bisector to go through that point. So here's our x and y. All right, so y equals mx plus b. We don't know the y-intercept, but we know the slope, and we have an x and a y. So this is our x and our y, and we've got to find the slope. So the slope is perpendicular. The slope from a to b is y minus y and x minus x, negative 7 over 5. So perpendicular would be 5 over 7. So y equals 5/7 x plus b. Now we substitute our x and our y. So 5/2 equals 5/7 times 1/2 plus b. So 5/2 equals 5/14. Subtract 5/14. Get a common denominator, multiply by 7, and you get 30/14, which that reduces to 15/7. So now our equation of the perpendicular bisector is y equals 5/7 x plus 15/7. And they put this in the general form, which is what it says up there. So if you multiply through by 7, you'll get all that. Okay, moving on. All right, so for part A, we have a horizontal line, and it goes through the y-axis. So this is going to be y equals wherever it crosses the y-axis, 1, 2, 3. That's the equation of that line. This one goes through the origin, so b is going to be 0, and we already have our slope, so y equals negative 1/2 x plus 0. Okay, let's do C and D. All right, so visibly, we can see what b is. So b is 1 on both of these, and they give us the slope for both of them. So we have y equals negative 3/2 x plus 1, and y equals negative x plus 1. If you can see it, then that's totally fine.